wait for 1 minute. Chapter 24, so we'll do 25. This is chapter 10, Canto 2. All right. Thereupon, because of his desiring to control movement, his legs become manifested, and from the legs, the controlling deity named Vishnu was generated. By his personal supervision of his act, all varieties of human beings are busily engaged in dutiful occupational sacrifice. I'll explain this verse to you. Now, what happens is when we have this divine consciousness creating these different entities, the different entities are coming from different parts of the body of this divine being. We have this divine being which we call as the Virat. You know, the Virat Swarup. It's basically the massive combination of this great divine consciousness in a manifested form. Now, when things have to be generated in the world, it is like you know, in have you ever seen a hydra, a very tiny creature called hydra? Okay, now hydra has a very funny tendency. It has got tentacles. It has got hundreds of tentacles on the body. Now if I cut off one tentacle, from that one tentacle 2 tentacles will come out, and it keeps on growing. It's a propagation method of propagation. Now if I cut off the entire portion of it, it's like you know, when we have this hibiscus plant. Have you seen hibiscus plant? If I cut one branch of a hibiscus and I take it somewhere else, it will grow into a tree. So exactly like that, this particular entity is divining itself into its various entities. Like a portion of his body is getting converted into a being, a portion of another part of his body is getting converted into another being. It's like propagatory methods. All right. I hope you understood how this you know, even in the plant and the animal kingdom this is possible. So we can develop, even in human beings there is a methodology which is being explored currently, where we use stem cells. Now if somebody has a particular problem associated with heart, the stem cells can be used to regenerate the heart. Then there is another method which will come in the future uses, like about 6 months ago or a year ago, they were able to develop the pinnae, the outer ear, in a petri dish in a laboratory. You know, it's a very strange thing. We are able to regenerate tissues out of some tissues which can be picked up from elsewhere, and regeneration. In many cases you will find that a certain part of the let us say, for example, one of the bigger veins of the leg is removed and put inside the heart, which is used as one of the you know, transplant. They have transplanted another portion. Exactly like that. This is one of the, I see what I'm giving you is just an example to tell you that how one thing can create another. Did you get it? So in the same way, here we have this divine entity creating from the lower portion of the body one of the entities called Vishnu. Okay, so it is having properties like I told you. Now if I pull out one particular part and put it in the heart, it will become the heart, isn't it? In the same way, what happens is the association of the leg, or the association of a particular part of this divine consciousness, okay, this Purusha generates an entity which is pertaining to that division only. All right. Did you get what I'm trying to say? So if I need a particular entity which is associated with a particular domain, I can take a portion of that part of my body and I can create that particular object. See, the stem cells can become anything, you know this. They are basically called stem cells for that reason. Okay, they are harvested. But if I harvest a cell from a particular place, I can use it in one particular location. Let us say, for example, the liver cells can become liver. But suppose if I put the cells from my, say, brain, can they become liver? No. There I have a problem. Then the body will throw it out. So the brain cells can create a portion of a brain. So like that. So you understand, and the association of that particular divinity will be connected only to that domain. So now you will understand the line correctly. Thereupon, because of his desiring to control movement, okay, see the words. Thereupon, because of his desiring to control movement, his leg became manifested, and from his leg the controlling deity named Vishnu was generated. Did you understand? Good. By his personal supervision of all acts, all varieties of human beings are busily engaged in dutiful occupational sacrifice. What is the sacrifice connected to the leg? Leg is of movement, isn't it? Leg is of movement, walking. Leg is also something which is used for the superstructure, for the entire body to stand on, isn't it? It's like yeah. So all these things are connected to the leg, and the divinity connected to the leg is Vishnu. Now you will say, yeah, Vishnu, how can all Vishnus be there? No, they are all different portions, by the way. Okay, that is why they are called potencies, the potency of the Lord. All right, so we'll do the next one. Thereupon, for sexual pleasure, begetting offspring, and tasting heavenly nectar, the Lord developed the genitals, and thus there is a genital organ and its controlling deity, the Prajapati. The object of sexual pleasure and the controlling deity are under the control of the genitals of the Lord. So again, for reproductive purposes and for sexual pleasures and for begetting offsprings and tasting heavenly nectar. Okay, in all this I think you understood sexual pleasures. I don't have to elaborate on that issue. Begetting offsprings also is very clearly understood, where naturally it's about the sperm and the ovum and things like that. Tasting heavenly nectar, this nectar is something that you need to understand. This is very important, because remember this, we were talking about two things. In the back of the neck, when the person does a Kacheri Mudra, my dear sir, Mr. Men, I think, no, he was talking about Kacheri Mudra. Okay, now person who is doing the Kacheri Mudra, he hits the back of the palate. There is a very tiny portion behind which there is a secretion in that particular place, which we call, okay, that is Amruta. Amruta means the thing which gives eternal life to a person. Okay, the tip of the tongue, when it scrolls backwards and hits that particular portion, and it is supposed to puncture that place. It's like as if you're taking a pointed thing and you're puncturing it. So when you puncture that particular domain, you get a liquid coming out from there, and that is Amrit. It is something which will give immortality to the human beings. Disclaimer, don't try it at home. Okay, so because there is one very beautiful story in the yogi, autobiography of a yogi, somebody who tried to put his tongue behind and his tongue got stuck up over there, and this person had to go and had to pull his tongue out. By the way, it is a very funny incident that happened, but imagine your tongue going in reverse. Yeah. Immortality to the body, no, it is immortality to the being. Now when you said the body, you are basically referring to this body, which is called the food body. Food body has deterioration. It will always go under deterioration. No, it is the rest of the bodies. Mind, body downwards, all the bodies become immortal. they can never get out of that system ever again. Just imagine you are trying to throw yourself down from top of the mountain, try to stand in front of a railway train and do all sorts of things, and nothing is happening. You can't die. It's a very tough thing. Imagine immortality is not allowing you to die. How difficult that person. Huh? Yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean. उसको कितना भी मारने का कोशिश करता है वो मरता ही नहीं है साला. So so if you try this stunt, your this body may go away, but all the rest of the bodies will be just like hanging on fire. Okay, so that is why don't try it. Now coming back to this line, so we have what is called as there's a sweet liquid over there. This, when it is ingested by the human beings, the person gets immortality. Okay, the pathway of the liquid is from top to bottom like this. There's a path which takes a turn. Now where it takes a turn is basically at the junction of the first and the second Kundalini chakra. That chakra is there. The first two chakras are there, Muladhara and Swasthana. It takes a turn over there. Okay, the exit to that opening is one second. Now who is this? One second, please. Wow, message came just now. Okay, so this particular reversal, it goes upwards, happens at this particular point. Now there now the thing is, it will not be mentioned anywhere in any book because it sounds like a very corny thing. Corny, you understand? Okay, with lot of sexual innuendos. But the genitals or the organs of genitals where this particular tasting heavenly nectar happens. Okay, because the thing turns upwards, and this is the place where it is possible to have this experiencing. All right, did you get? If you don't get, it's all right, it doesn't matter. So, and thus this organ is controlled by the deity called Prajapati. Prajapati is the deity connected to this, also one of the small portions of the Lord called Prajapati. He handles this thing. So he handles sexual pleasure, and under the controls are the genitals. Genitals are the organs which are also throwing out excreta and waste and every other thing, but they are also the place from where immortality stems from. Okay, immortality in two forms. One, where you can have tasting heavenly nectar, where immortality rise, and the second important thing is begetting offsprings. Begetting offsprings is like an ad continuum of your own life, isn't it? You have a child, and the child has another child, and it goes on and on. So that's an immortality. So this particular place is meant for that purpose, and that is done by means of Prajapati. Thereafter, when he desired to evacuate the refuse of eatables, the evacuating hole, anus, and the sensory organ thereof developed along with the controlling deity Mitra. These sensory organs and the evacuating substances are both under the shelter of that controlling deity. So, organs for evacuation, that means all the waste that are there from the body are evacuated from this particular place. All right. One line before there was something which I said, the refuse is also thrown out. Now what is that refuse that is thrown out? Is called urea, uric acid, and all those things. Those are basically impurities connected to the blood, correct? Right? The one which is thrown out from the anus are not collected to the blood. They are connected to food. If you remember, it's connected to the food. Food, whatever is non-digested, whatever is thrown out from the anus. But what is thrown out from the organ, which is the sexual organ, basically
Left.
is a highly purified thing. Do you know that the kidney is one of the cleanest organs in the body? There is a filtrate which is called the glomerular filtrate. Okay, it's one of the most amazing purificatory organ in our body. So in India, we have people like Morarji Desai drinking their own urine. So now, but we always consider urine as very, very bad and dirty. No, it is a highly purified thing that is thrown out, and all that is non-purified is thrown into the large intestine. Okay, so this is the difference between the two organs. So Mitra is the deity that is called. When there is a desire to have food and drink, the abdomen and the intestines and also the arteries became manifested. The rivers and seas are the source of the sustenance and the metabolism. Okay, this is a very interesting thing. Now, how do you send the entire food, which is digested food, to different parts of the body? So you need this system. The system of sending things from one corner to the other corner of the body. So we have this system of transference from things which are there in the intestine and the abdomen. When digestion happens, how do you get the whole thing distributed all over the body? So these arteries, basically these are the arterial network in our body from where food is transferred to different portions of the body for its sustenance, isn't it? So sustaining is done by these motions, and they are called the rivers. So even in India, or for that matter any country in the world, they say that rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, and all these, forget Saraswati may not be there existent today, but Narmada, Godavari, and all these, Krishna, Kaveri, all these are the rivers which are sustaining the entire India. Correct? Likewise, there are rivers and water bodies across United States and Canada and France and every other place in the world where sustainability happens. These are called the arteries, veins, so on and so forth. All right. So that is one more deity which is called the river deities. They supply the bodies with food for sustenance. Got it? When there is a desire to think about the activities of his own energy, then the heart, the seat of the mind, the moon, determination, and all desires become manifested. This is the first time it is mentioned that the seat of the mind is in the heart. Every person across the world thinks the mind is in the brain, isn't it? Here it is being said very clearly, where there is a desire to think about the activities of his own energy. So when God wants to think about himself, what does he do? He has to create a mind of his own, isn't it? And this mind is generated inside the heart. That is called the seat of the mind. Now, where is the mind then? It's a seat. Seat means like we have the Parliament House. Parliament House rules the entire of India, isn't it? So it's called the seat of the government. Like that, the seat of the mind is in the heart. That is where the central location where it actually does all sorts of things. That is called the seat. The entire body becomes the mind. The mind is from top to bottom. It is there even in your foot, by the way. So running the whole country, the seat is in the New Delhi, India ka. Likewise, to run entire United States of America, the seat is in Washington DC. So that is called the capital. So the capital of the entire body, the seat, is in this. Mind is in the heart. Okay. The mind, the moon, and determination of all desires become manifested. So desire, where does desire spring from? Desire spring from this thing called the mind. That is called the seat of desire. Now, what is it that works with the seat of the desire? The mind, the moon. Moon has got the property of laloon. Laloon is called the moon. The moon is where thinking happens, thinking, which is an emotional aspect of our world. The moon is the emotional aspect in our world. It does what is called as emotional thinking. So if the moon is displaced, a person becomes lunatic. Laloon, lunatic. Okay. So displacement of the moon in our being, person goes wonky. So now you understand why laloon, which is the moon, is basically connected to the thinking part, the desires, the needs, supposedly very emotional aspect of our life. Okay. Imagine if the moon goes for a toss, we have emotional atyachar. So now you understood. The 7 elements of the body, namely the thin layer of the skin itself, the flesh, blood, fat, marrow, bone are made up of earth, water and fire, whereas the life breath is produced by the sky, water and air. This in the Tattva Bodh we were doing these things. Okay, how the separation has happened. Okay, he is talking of dermis, epidermis, 2 layers of the skin. We have done it in science, isn't it? Dermis, the epidermis is the outer layer, dermis is the inner layer. Okay, so he's talking about the 2 layers. The thin layer is the outer one, then the inner one, the flesh. That which makes up of the entire, below the dermis, the entire fat thing that is there, connected up to the sebaceous glands and all that, you know. I remember a little portion of your science or no? So yes, sebaceous glands are the glands which give oil in your body. Suppose you have a shiny nose, then you know your sebaceous glands are overworking. Okay. So that is there. Blood, fat, marrow and bone. The innermost portion is called the bone, the one in the center which holds the whole body up. They are all made up of earth, water and fire. Whereas the life breath, that is the prana, that one which keeps on working on your body, is produced by sky, water and air. So these are the differentiations of the layers which are handled by these 2 departments, separation. The sense organs are attached to the modes of material nature, and the modes of material nature are produced of the false ego. The mind is subject to all kinds of material experiences, happiness and distress, and the intelligence is the feature of the mind's deliberation. Now, let him go inside, except that when he is coming and going in, let him close the door and do whatever he wants to. So, what are the modes of Prakriti? Material nature. Do you know? They are produced by the false ego. What is the meaning of the word false ego? The false ego is that which generates this nature. The generation of nature happens because of the false ego. It is like, let us say for example, the face. I'm just giving you one example. Think about it. Now yesterday I was sitting in the train. Okay. And there was this very young man who was sitting across in front of me. Alright. Now he had orange hair. Okay, by the way, people have all different hairs in Singapore over here. Some people will have green color ka ek choti, some people will have red, some people will have, all kinds of funny colors on their head. So this guy had orange hair. and he looked orange also. The whole body, he was wearing clothes like that. Okay, and I was looking at him like this, and you know what he did? Then he looked up like this to me, and I was shocked because this person had orange eyes. So it was very funny. I think it must be all those Twilight series movies, they must have given that idea about having orange kind of iris. Very funny, and I just looked at him and said, look like a devil from somewhere. So now, the reason why I told you this example is because we have this false ego with us. The false ego is, I have such a beautiful body, I have such a beautiful face. Okay, uh, and the person has thinks no end of himself or herself. It's like in the Archie comics, there is this character called Reggie. You know that, Reggie. He always thinks no end of himself. He thinks that he is the greatest thing on planet Earth. Every girl is going to fall for him. And yeah, that is how it works. So this guy thinks, even in this movie called the Grease is there, in that movie there is this the T-Birds, one of the groups, and the other one is there. They drive the black color cars, and the leader of that group thinks, oh, I'm so good, like that. So this is called false ego. It builds a false persona for us. Person thinks no end of himself or herself. Okay, I have such flawless skin. It comes from my, the genetic tree. Acha. So tomorrow, flawless skin will have, of course, you have the most. So can I make it more whiter? So I will give that person leuco, whatever, derma. Yeah. So leucoderma, dharma, gaya, wahan pe. So you will find that it is all false ego. It's the same thing which goes for somebody who is having this ego about every part of their body. Somebody who thinks that they have got beautiful eyes, it's an ego which creates these things. So now see this line. The sense organs are attached to the modes of material nature. And the modes of material nature are a product of the false ego. It just gives us some nonsensical expression. I have a beautiful nose. Okay. Looks like a parrot. What to do? So everybody has this idea about their body. It's all false ego. Okay. Now just imagine this person goes to a place in Africa or somewhere where everybody is flat nose like this. He is going to stand out with his beak nose. Okay. So everybody thinks, the Italians and the Spanish, they have such nice noses. I'm sorry, try to put that person in China, he is going to be out of that place. So, no, everybody is in their right places. Okay. So again, in India, this skin will be called black skin. I will suit very well in Tamil Nadu and all those places. I am very much suitable for that place. And imagine, they will call me, you are such a dark fellow, you are a black man and all that. Okay, and I will go to US or something like that, and then they will say, oh, you are a brown skin. Are from where did black become brown? So there I will be still Gora Admi, by the way. In USA. Okay, so I am suitable for my own place. So everything is nothing but a false ego. So I hope you got this example just to understand that a person is right in his own place because of the geographical location or the environment or something like that. Now, exactly for this reason, now there is a new theory which is there in the market, by the way. They are going to regenerate a creature by cloning. Do you know that? Okay, you may not know that. It's called dodo. Now dodo is a flightless bird. Flightless because it doesn't have wings. Okay, it doesn't have wings. So it's called a flightless bird. Now why are they going to regenerate the flightless bird? He used to stay in a place called Mauritius. Now मॉरिशस में वो बर्ड को इधर उधर घूमने का जरूरी क्या है, वो चल के जा सकता है. समझ में आया? वो तो he's got very strong legs, so he can just walk from one place to another. So this bird called the dodo bird can stay in a place called Mauritius, where if he wants to get from one Port Louis to some other, do you know Mauritius? No? No. Okay. Now the capital of Mauritius is called Port Louis. Okay. And suppose he wants to go to another place of Mauritius which is called Revier de Rampant. Now he just has to walk down from there to there, or maybe catch a bus. He doesn't need to fly from one place to another. Okay.
He doesn't need to migrate either.
That's why he died over there, poor fellow. So now they are going to generate this guy once again. Okay, and imagine him being put in Africa or United States. He better have wings, you know. Then he'll have to book flights on all the airlines if he has to fly. So it's stupid. But this is the modes of nature. Did you understand what I meant by modes of nature? Nature defines exactly what is required for every individual. Understood? So you will find that there are people who are blind getting married to a blind, isn't it? So it's exactly like that. People have been made for a particular reason, for a particular purpose. The nature decides its own course of action. That is why, and all these things that are happening are unreal. Unreal, they are not real at all. That is why it is false ego. जो अपने स्किन के बारे में बहुत अच्छा लगता है उसको, by the time they become old, skin is gone. Somebody says I can dance very well, after some time, 2 left feet. Somebody who says I can sing very well, then after a few years they have a crow-like voice. You can't help it. I mean, by the way, all the rock bands have crow-like voice first and later on they become better. That's a different thing. तो पहले वो या करेगा, बाद में उनका थोड़ा वॉइस ठीक हो जाता है. So maybe that is the reverse order. So this is called the false ego which generates this. Okay, the mind is subjected to all kinds of material experiences, happiness and distress. Why I am going very slow in this line is because we are discussing a very important portion of the body, which is called the mind, mind. Very dangerous substance. Yeah, Alfred Nobel ने भी describe नहीं किया हो सकता है, वो इतना dynamite से dangerous है. So the mind is subjected to all kinds of material experiences. How is it related to material experiences? Let me give you an idea. Remember, it is created false ego. Okay, it's a product of the false ego. Mind is a product of the false ego. It has, if the object itself is unreal. Now I'm going to ask you, can you describe the unicorn? All right, and Senthil's child will say, daddy, we will put a pink color chaddi on unicorn. अल्लाह कर लो बात. अरे पिंक कलर का चड्डी का यूनिफॉर्म, अच्छा. ब्रिटो जाएगा क्लॉड के बच्ची के पास, बोलेगा ना, यू ड्रॉ एन यूनिकॉर्न एंड शो मी. ओ येलो कलर का यूनिकॉर्न विद ग्रीन कलर विंग्स एंड ऑल विल देयर. Did you understand what I'm saying? Unicorn itself is an imaginary creature. Okay. Now based on your own imaginations, you can give color to it. Right? So this false ego, which creates this entity called the mind, it is subjected to material experiences. So you want to paint the unicorn pink in color, you can. Okay, all right. So by the way, there is a religion. Religion, you understand? There is a religion called the pink unicorn. You can Google it and see, or you can Wikipedia it and see. Okay. Pink is by itself imaginary. Unicorn is double imaginary. So you can say God is like the pink unicorn. So the atheist of the world describe God as the pink unicorn. Imaginary creature having imaginary color. Got it? This describes how our mind, which is a false ego, which is created by the false ego, has all kinds of material experiences. Unicorn with pink color. Got it? Or like say for example, when two children are playing house, you know, बच्चे लोग खेलते हैं घर घर, हाँ, वो बोलेगा वो मैंने चाय बनाया है, अच्छा पी के देखो उसमें ठीक है कि नहीं शक्कर, एंड द पर्सन इज डूइंग, यू नो, शक्कर थोड़ा कम है, उसमें थोड़ा एक चम्मच डालेंगे क्या, एंड द पर्सन से अच्छा डाला, अभी तुम उसको घुमाओ एंड देन यू पियो. It's all imaginary. Now shakkar is actually tangible. Got it? But the tea in hand is not there at all. So think about it. On one side we have this teacup in hand which is imaginary. There is imaginary tea in it. But you are putting color into it, which is sugar. So a unicorn, imaginary object, pink, definitely a color. Got it? So now think about it. Mind, imaginary object. What happens is the experiences to the mind are very much real. Sugar is real. Pink color is real. You can see the pink color. Imaginary tea and unicorn, unreal. But associated with it, objects, very much real. So it is subjected to all kinds of material experiences. What are those experiences? Of happiness and distress. So a person becomes happy, and a person has distress, has a lot of pain and problems. Where is he having? In the pink unicorn. पिंक कलर का चड्डी डाला साले ने, लो कर लो बात. कहां से होता है? सो यू विल से ना मेरे माइंड में है ना बहुत टेंशन चल रहा है. बॉस माइंड इमेजिनरी है, टेंशन रियल है बॉस. यस ऑफ कोर्स. डिड यू गेट द टू डिफरेंसेस? Okay, I know this is very difficult to understand, but I think by now you have understood a little bit. This is what happens to the mind. It goes through material experiences. A person feels, oh my God, मेरी दुनिया एकदम खत्म होने को आ गई है. Okay, ऐसा लगता है किसी टाइम, और किसी टाइम पे ऐसा लगता है कितना अच्छा चल रहा है. My child has come first in the class. लो, तो कितना अच्छा लगता है. और आगे अभी है ना कैलेंडर में बड़ा सा रिमार्क लिख के भेजेगा प्रिंसिपल, तभी तो एकदम अपना हवा टाइट हो जाता है. कभी भेजा है क्या? ना, अभी तुम्हारे बच्चे छोटे हैं तो इसीलिए, लेकिन अपन और पद्मा के तो बच्चे जरूर बड़े हो गए, तो कैलेंडर में एक बड़ा सा आया ना, व्हाट हैव यू डन, व्हाट इज दिस, हाउ यू कैन डन. मेरे को तो 50 बार आया है, इसीलिए मालूम है. ब्रिंग योर पेरेंट्स टू स्कूल भी बोला गया है मेरे को. और मेरे मम्मी को मैंने बोला लास्ट टाइम में कि जाके जरा मिल के आना प्रिंसिपल को. और प्रिंसिपल ने बोला योर सन इज वेरी नॉटी, आई वांट टू थ्रो हिम आउट ऑफ द स्कूल. और मेरे को किसी ने बोला भी नहीं कि है ना आई एम बीइंग थ्रोन आउट ऑफ द स्कूल. बाद में मैं घर में पहुंचा तभी मेरे माँ बाप ने मेरे को बोला कि योर प्रिंसिपल हैज सेड यू आर गोइंग टू बी थ्रोन आउट. अरे मेरे को क्यों नहीं बोला उन लोगों ने? तो मैं मेरे प्रिंसिपल को मिलने गया था. तो प्रिंसिपल ने मेरे को पूछा, मैंने उनको पूछा कि व्हाट इज दिस, यू कॉल्ड फॉर माय पेरेंट. नो, आई जस्ट वांटेड टू टॉक टू देम, आई जस्ट वांटेड टू टेल देम हाउ गुड अ स्टूडेंट यू आर. बोला अच्छा. बोला मेरे सामने एक और उधर उसके सामने दूसरा गुस्सा भी बोल रहा है. सो इट वाज अ वेरी फनी थिंग. तभी मेरे को फिर है ना, उसके बाद झगड़ा हो गया और मेरे प्रिंसिपल ने मेरे को बोला कि है ना, आई विल गट यू रस्टिकेटेड. ओ मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस के जैसा रस्टिकेटेड. तो मैं बोला अच्छा तुमको जो करने का करो जा. फिर बताया, बोलता है आई विल सी टू इट दैट इन द बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन यू विल गेट लोएस्ट मार्क्स. मैं बोला बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन गया भाड़ में. बोला तुमको जो करने का है करो, मेरे को जो करने का है मैं करेगा, मैं तो फर्स्ट आके बताएगा जा. I was a very funny experience that I had. Anyway, Gunda. Anyway, coming back to the subject matter. So these are called mind deliberations. Got it? Mind is imaginary. हाँ, उसमें happiness एक आता है और sadness एक आता है. That is so real. You know, sometimes it's a touch and go situation. Sometimes it's a situation where a person feels so damn miserable, the whole bloody world is falling on top of your head. Isn't it? Everybody has gone through this. There isn't a single person in my world who can say, I have, मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. No, सबको हुआ है. सबके सिर के ऊपर है ना पूरा दुनिया ऐसा धम करके गिरा है. Okay? हाँ? So everybody has gone through miseries in their life. And everybody has gone through happinesses also. Okay? Everybody goes through this. But if I have to tell you at that moment in time when you are the most miserable person, mind is unreal. ये एक रख के देने का लगता है उसको. बोला कुछ भी बोलना मत, mind is unreal. बोला मेरे लाइफ में कितने प्रॉब्लम है तेरे को मालूम है? At that point in time, you can't talk to the person that mind is unreal. That unicorn is actually standing in front of you. 100% real. उसको हाथ लगाएगा तो काटेगा. इतना डेंजरस है वो. So now think about it. This is the subject of material experiences. It happens to everybody. Got it? And the intelligence is the feature of the mind's deliberation. The mind is a cauldron, as I said. A cauldron is a kadai, where, imagine it's an unreal one. In that place, intelligence is a feature, one of the features. Okay? A shade of pink. बोला शेड ऑफ पिंक. बोला कौन सा शेड ऑफ पिंक? मेरा वाला क्रीम, मेरा वाला पिंक याद है आपको? एशियन पेंट. ऐसा एक दुपट्टा लेके जाने का, वो मेरा दुपट्टे के जैसा कलर मेरे वॉल का चलेगा क्या? लो कर लो बात. मतलब तेरा दुपट्टा और मेरे वॉल का पेंट वैसा होना चाहिए. नहीं तो देखो मेरा स्किन कलर है ना वैसा है ना, मेरा वॉल होना चाहिए. बोला तेरा स्किन कलर को देख के मैं तेरा वॉल बनाएगा. लो. सो वी हैव द शेड्स ऑफ पिंक. गॉट इट? नाउ व्हाट डज दिस मीन अगेन? What does this shading mean? Shading means we are using deliberative faculty. What is deliberation? Thinking process, isn't it? Yes, we are thinking very hard on some subject. So if you are asked this question, what is the color of this pink that you want? And you will come out with a definitive answer. Isn't it? Okay, not correlating. Okay, I will give you one more subject. Let us say, for example, you have been caught for rash driving. Okay, rash driving नहीं करते होंगे लेकिन एटलीस्ट सिग्नल तो तोड़ा होगा. हाँ, तो सिग्नल तोड़ने के लिए you are caught and the policeman is standing over there. Mamu is standing over there and he is going, लाइसेंस लेके आओ, पेपर्स लेके आओ. And you are standing over there and I didn't break the signal. It was very much green when I was crossing over. कितने बार बोला है? I mean जिसने सिग्नल तोड़ा है उसको मालूम है ये, ब्रिटो तूने तो जरूर तोड़ा रहेगा। अब पद्मा पद्मा के बारे में तो पद्मा रेड भी तोड़ती है, ग्रीन भी तोड़ती है, और येलो के बारे में पूछना भी मत। So
That's
Padma,
bad
you must.
reputation. Okay.
What?
Bad reputation.
No, no, not bad reputation. You are the person from our group who is who has got the guts to do it. We all don't have. So, and Guru doesn't want to look into it. Guru बोलता है भाई नहीं देखेगा इधर. But anyway, this is what happens to us. Because when I was caught, I told him that the signal was green in color. And that policeman is giving me a stare like this. क्या क्या बोलता है, मेरे को दिखता नहीं क्या, बोला तेरा लाइसेंस लेके आ. And you know what happens, we want to think of all the possible political connections that we have in our book, and then we want to think about all the police stations that we have had. That Shivanna from that Alsurgate police station na, is a friend of mine. Okay, वो फाइन देने वाला है तुम्हारा. So it goes on, and the long discussion, and the person is very clear that he has got a target of 200 fines in a day. He better collect from you. So he collects the fine. Whether you know Shivanna or Panchappa or whoever, doesn't make a difference. Okay, so and then you start comparing in your own life. I was caught in the year 1947. That time I was able to get out of it. Now you see the gradations that you are giving. In this year when I was caught, I was able to get out of it. 50 रुपया दिया और मैं चला गया. That year I was caught, I could get out of it because I knew that inspector very well. Yesterday there was somebody who wrote on the blog. This guy was driving and he broke the green signal. Okay, and when the cop stopped him, he said that, see, I don't have time to talk to you. उस दिल्ली में 100 रुपीज फाइन है, अभी बैंगलोर में 300 रुपया. तो उसने है ना क्या किया, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस निकाला, उसके साथ 100 रुपया रखा. But that policeman over there says, no, I want to talk to you. हेलो कर लो बात. Why did you break the signal? अरे मैं 100 रुपया दे रहा हूं ना, फाइन बना और जाने देना मेरे को. Where are you going? Why you had to run? पूरा स्टोरी उससे निकाला. Finally this person told him, sir, my school students are waiting. Today is teachers day, so I am going to school. And that person immediately straightened up and said, oh, you are a teacher in school. Very good, sir. Today is teachers day. Today no fine. Take your money, go. So think about it. And this person was let go.
Smart thinking.
Huh?
He may not have been a teacher at all.
No. He is really a teacher. He's a friend of mine. So he's a teacher, and he was told to go. And he is looking at the person with the 100 rupees. He says, you don't want? No. Go. Today teachers day, go. So now think. This is what is called the feature of the mind. The mind of the policeman thought, today is a teacher's day. I want to do something nice. Did you get the answer? This thing which makes a person feel nice or sad or makes judgment, मेरा वाला pink, ये जो deliberation होता है, वो deliberation को बोलते हैं intelligence. समझे? So I have split the mind down to this level so you will understand. First, material nature creates the mind. Second, it's created by false ego. It's an unreal object. It's the nature of a product. Then subjected to happinesses and sorrows and all those things. That means colored, mind is colored. Pink color आ गया, unicorn, pink color. Then this coloring, what kind of pink? Then the shades of pink. That is done by deliberation or thinking processes. That is called intelligence. All this mind has been explained to you over here. Got it? We are going to do another 5 more minutes and then we will stop. Okay. Thus, by all this, the external feature of the personality of God is covered by gross forms such as those of planets, which were explained to you by me. Now, like that, we were when we started this particular chapter, it was mentioned that the eyes are the sun and the moon. You remember all these things? Correct. So they form this entire physical body of the Lord Himself. Therefore, beyond this gross manifestation is a transcendental manifestation, finer than the finest forms. It has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Therefore, it is beyond the limits of expression or mental speculation and is distinct from the material conception. We have created a physical form of the body, right? Every portion of the body has been assigned to a certain god, right? Every place has been given its own designation, the godhood, the connecting deity, everything has been given. Last but not the least, who is going to run this system? This entire body has been created. That is the manifest form. So something has to run this system. That is the unmanifest nature of the Lord. This is what we are going to do. Therefore, beyond this is a transcendental manifestation, finer than the finest form. This is the physical form. Beyond this, there is something that runs this whole system. So now, till the last point we did the mind, isn't it? It comes in manifest. So mind, intellect are all a part of the manifest world. But who runs this whole world for us? Is this? It has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. And therefore, it is beyond the limits of expression or mental speculation. So you can try your level best thinking who is the one who is trying to run this. You will not be able to understand. So don't even try your mental speculation. Okay? Because it doesn't work. You cannot even understand how this system works. Because there is no physical entity to run this system. And it is beyond mental speculation and is distinct from the material conception. Material conception can be visualized with your intellect and the mind. Correct? But this particular thing can never be visualized at all or thought of. And that is the reason why you just have to let it be. Neither of the above forms of the Lord, as just described unto from the material angle of vision, is accepted by the pure devotee of the Lord who knows Him well. Those who are the devotees of Krishna do not accept this material form at all. They know that Krishna is nothing to do with the material form that was described. So even if the leg is a Vishnu, it does not matter. Got it? So this devotee of Krishna does not look into any material aspect of the Lord at all. So the devotion to any physical entity is completely wrong, because physical entity can only point us out in direction but can never give us the experience of this divine consciousness. The divine consciousness is beyond the material nature of the Lord. So a devotee of Krishna needs to only think beyond this. So why are you bothered about it? So we will stop over here. This is verse 35. Okay. So